Today, I want to share a truth that can transform the way you see yourself and the world around you. Your past does not define you. Every single one of us carries a history, a collection of experiences, choices, successes, and mistakes. But here is the thing: those experiences, no matter how heavy or challenging, are not chains meant to hold you back. They are lessons, stepping stones, and opportunities for growth. Many of us have moments we wish we could erase, moments of failure, regret, or embarrassment. We sometimes define ourselves by them, allowing them to cast shadows over our confidence and dreams. But let me remind you, mistakes are not a life sentence. They are proof that you dared, that you tried, and that you are human. Your failures do not label your identity, they refine it. They teach resilience, perseverance, and strength that no easy success ever could. Every one of us carries a past. Every one of us has moments we wish we could forget, moments that we replay over and over in our minds, moments that sometimes make us question who we are. But here's the truth: your past is not a chain meant to hold you down. It is a foundation upon which you can build your future. It is a story, yes, but it is not the story. It is a chapter, not the entirety of the book. Too often, we allow our past mistakes, failures, or missteps to define us. We look back at the moments we stumbled, the doors that closed, the relationships that ended, and the opportunities we lost, and we tell ourselves that these moments are who we are. But I stand before you today to tell you, with all certainty, that this is not true. Your past may inform you, it may shape some of your thinking, but it does not define your potential, your value, or your destiny. Think for a moment about the human tendency to dwell on what has gone wrong. We are naturally drawn to relive our failures, to remember the times we fell short, to carry the burden of regret. But why do we do this? Perhaps it is because we think acknowledging our past mistakes will make us better people, more cautious, more aware. Perhaps it is because our minds are wired to learn from experience. But there is a dangerous side to this pattern of thought. When we allow the past to dominate our present, we stop ourselves from moving forward. We let yesterday's mistakes dictate today's decisions, and we trap ourselves in a cycle of self-doubt and limitation. The truth is, every single person you admire, every person who has achieved greatness, has a past. And yet, they did not let it define them. Consider Thomas Edison. He failed thousands of times before he invented the light bulb. Imagine if he had allowed his repeated failures to convince him that he was incapable, that his past defined him as a failure. Imagine if he had listened to the voice in his head that said, "You have tried and failed too many times, this is who you are." The world would have been a darker place, literally. Edison chose to see his failures not as definitions of his worth, but as lessons and stepping stones toward his ultimate success. His past did not define him. His persistence, his vision, and his courage did. And it is not only great inventors or world-changing figures who face this struggle. Every one of us does. We all have moments of pain, moments of embarrassment, moments where we questioned ourselves or felt unworthy. But it is precisely in these moments that the power to rise begins. Your past, no matter how painful or difficult, carries within it a seed of strength. Every failure, every rejection, every loss has something to teach you if you are willing to see it. But here is the key: you must decide to use your past as a teacher, not as a jailer. You must choose to learn from it rather than be imprisoned by it. Too many people make the mistake of thinking that the past is a verdict. They believe that because something went wrong once, it will always go wrong. They believe that because they made a bad choice, they are destined to make bad choices forever. But life is not a sentence, it is an opportunity. Each day gives you the chance to rewrite your story, to make different decisions, and to create a future that reflects who you are becoming, not who you were yesterday. Your past is merely a reference point. It is a lesson, not a label. It is a teacher, not a tyrant. Take a moment to think about the weight we often carry with us from our past. We carry guilt for things we wish we had done differently. We carry shame for the mistakes that haunt us. We carry disappointment for the opportunities we lost or the relationships that failed. This weight can be crushing, and it can prevent us from living fully in the present. But the moment you recognize that your past does not define you, you free yourself. You free yourself to take bold steps, to dream bigger, to act with courage, and to embrace your potential without the chains of regret holding you back. Let me tell you about someone who transformed their life by refusing to be defined by the past. Consider someone like Maya Angelou, a woman who faced unimaginable challenges early in life. She endured trauma, discrimination, and hardship, yet she chose to rise above her circumstances. She refused to let her past dictate the course of her life. Instead, she used it as fuel to inspire, to create, and to empower others. Her words, her actions, and her legacy show us that the past may shape us, but it does not define us. What defines us is how we respond, how we grow, and how we choose to live moving forward. Your past may contain mistakes, yes, but it also contains courage. Every moment you survived, every obstacle you overcame, every lesson you learned, these are the tools that equip you for the future. You may look back at your past and see failures, but I urge you to look deeper and see the resilience, the determination, and the capacity for growth that those moments reveal. The past is a mirror, but it is not a cage. It reflects where you have been, but it does not dictate where you are going. And the beauty of life is this: every day is a chance to prove to yourself that your past does not define you. Every morning, the sun rises, and with it comes an opportunity to take control of your story. You can choose to act differently, to think differently, and to live differently. You can embrace new habits, cultivate new relationships, and pursue new dreams. Your past is simply a chapter that you have already written. The rest of the book is in your hands, and the best part is that the ending is not predetermined. It is not fixed. It is waiting for your courage, your action, and your commitment to shape it. Do not let past failures make you afraid of trying again. Do not let past rejections make you afraid of reaching out. Do not let past pain make you afraid of loving or trusting again. Every person you admire, every person who has achieved greatness, has been where you are. They have faced doubt, fear, and uncertainty. But what separates them from those who remain stuck is not a perfect past, it is the decision to move forward despite it. They understood that their past was not a verdict but a lesson, not a prison but a platform. And that, my friends, is the perspective that allows ordinary people to achieve extraordinary things. So, how do we begin to live with this perspective? We begin by forgiving ourselves. We begin by acknowledging that we are human and that mistakes are a part of life. We begin by letting go of the shame, the guilt, and the regret that weigh us down. We begin by choosing to act, to create, and to dream despite the shadows of the past. And most importantly, we begin by believing that our future is not written by yesterday's failures but by today's courage and determination. Every step you take today, every positive choice, every act of courage, is a statement that your past does not control you. It is proof that you are bigger than your mistakes, stronger than your fears, and capable of more than you ever imagined. And the more you practice this mindset, the more freedom you will feel. The past will no longer haunt you, it will no longer limit you. Instead, it will become a resource, a guide, a collection of lessons that empower you to move forward with clarity, strength, and purpose. I want you to leave here today with this thought: your past is not your prison. It is not your identity. It is not a reflection of your worth or your potential. It is a reference, a lesson, a stepping stone. And the moment you embrace this truth, you unlock the freedom to live fully, to dream boldly, and to take action fearlessly. You have the power to rise above, to grow beyond, and to create a life that reflects your vision, not your history. So the next time you find yourself haunted by memories of failure, shame, or regret, remember this: those memories are not your sentence, they are your teacher. Your past is not the definition of who you are. It is the launch pad from which you can propel yourself into the life you were always meant to live. You have the strength, the courage, and the wisdom to move beyond yesterday and embrace tomorrow with confidence and purpose. We live in a world that often teaches us to fear failure. From a young age, we are conditioned to think that mistakes are shameful, that they define who we are, and that they mark us as incapable or unworthy. We are told that failure is something to avoid at all costs, that it is a reflection of our inadequacy, rather than an inevitable part of growth. But I stand before you today to challenge that perspective. I want to tell you that mistakes and failures are not labels to be worn as a badge of shame. They are lessons, opportunities, and catalysts for growth that shape us into stronger, wiser, and more resilient individuals. The moment you begin to see failure as a teacher rather than a judge, you open the door to unlimited potential and personal transformation. Mistakes are a part of life. They are universal. Every single person who has ever accomplished anything meaningful has made mistakes along the way. Every person who has succeeded has stumbled, fallen, and sometimes failed spectacularly. And yet, the difference between those who succeed and those who remain stuck is not that one group avoided failure, it is that one group learned from it. They treated mistakes as lessons, not as labels. They did not allow failure to define their worth or their abilities. They used it to refine their skills, to gain insight, and to fuel their determination. Think about some of the greatest inventors and entrepreneurs in history. Thomas Edison, for instance, is famously known for failing thousands of times before inventing the electric light bulb. When asked about his failures, Edison did not see them as a reflection of his inadequacy. He said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That mindset transformed failure from a setback into a learning opportunity, into a stepping stone that eventually led to success. Every failed attempt gave him more information, more understanding, and more clarity about what would ultimately work. His failures were not labels that defined him. They were lessons that propelled him forward. And it is not only inventors who illustrate this truth. Consider the world of sports. Michael Jordan, widely regarded as one of the greatest basketball players of all time, was once cut from his high school basketball team. Imagine if he had allowed that failure to define him. Imagine if he had listened to the voice that said, "You are not good enough. This is who you are." But instead, he used that setback as motivation. He practiced harder, refined his skills, and turned that early failure into a story of relentless perseverance and ultimate triumph. Every mistake he made on the court, every missed shot, every lost game, became a lesson that helped him grow into a legend. The truth is, mistakes are not personal attacks. They are not evidence that you are incapable or unworthy. They are feedback. They are guidance from life, showing you what doesn't work and pointing you toward what might. Every time you fail, you learn something valuable about the task, about others, and most importantly, about yourself. You learn about your strengths and your weaknesses, your patience and your limits, your courage and your creativity. And when you approach mistakes with this mindset, they lose their power to diminish you and gain the power to elevate you. We must also understand that failure is inevitable in any meaningful endeavor. If you aim to grow, to innovate, to create, to lead, failure is not optional, it is guaranteed. The people who refuse to fail are often the ones who refuse to take risks, who remain stagnant, and who settle for mediocrity. But those who embrace failure, who see it as a natural part of progress, are the ones who break barriers, who innovate, and who achieve greatness. Mistakes are the tuition we pay for success. They are the price of learning, and they are the pathway to mastery. But here is a critical point. Learning from failure requires reflection and courage. It requires the humility to acknowledge what went wrong, and the willingness to ask yourself difficult questions. What could I have done differently? What did this experience teach me? How can I use this knowledge to improve and move forward? When you answer these questions honestly, mistakes transform from painful experiences into powerful lessons. They become tools for growth rather than chains of regret. Consider J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter series. She faced multiple rejections before a single publisher accepted her manuscript. Many would have given up after the first, second, or even fifth rejection. Many would have internalized the failure as a label, thinking, "I am not good enough. I am not talented enough." But Rowling did the opposite. She treated each rejection as a lesson, learning to refine her writing, to understand the market, and to persevere despite adversity. Her failures were not labels. They were stepping stones that led her to one of the most successful literary careers in history. And it's not only in monumental achievements that this principle applies. In everyday life, mistakes teach us invaluable lessons about relationships, communication, decision-making, and resilience. Perhaps you made a choice that hurt someone you cared about. Perhaps you failed to meet a goal you set for yourself. Perhaps a project at work did not go as planned. These experiences, though difficult, are not proof that you are inadequate. They are proof that you are human, that you are trying, and that you are learning. When approached with the right mindset, these failures provide insight into how to approach similar situations in the future. how to make better choices, and how to grow into a wiser and more compassionate person. One of the most important lessons mistakes teach us is humility. They remind us that we are not infallible, that we are constantly learning, and that growth is an ongoing journey rather than a destination. Mistakes teach patience, perseverance, and empathy. They teach us to forgive ourselves and others. They show us that life is not about perfection, but about progress. Every time you fail and choose to learn, you strengthen your character, deepen your understanding, and expand your capacity to achieve. Another critical aspect is that failure fosters creativity and innovation. When something doesn't work, it forces you to think differently, to find new approaches, and to innovate. Many of the world's greatest breakthroughs came from repeated failures. The inventors, entrepreneurs, and leaders who have changed the world did so not because they never failed, but because they refused to let failure define them. Instead, they let it guide them, teach them, and inspire them to try again with greater insight and determination. We must also remember that mistakes and failures do not diminish our worth. Your value as a human being is not measured by how often you succeed or fail, but by your courage to continue, your willingness to learn, and your commitment to grow. Failure is an event, not an identity. It happens to everyone, from the most successful to the most ordinary. What matters is not the failure itself, but how you respond to it. Will you let it define you, or will you let it refine you? Will you let it break you, or will you let it build you? So, ladies and gentlemen, I urge you to change the way you think about mistakes and failures. Do not fear them. Do not hide from them. Do not let them diminish your confidence or your spirit. Embrace them, study them, learn from them. Every mistake is a lesson waiting to be discovered. Every failure is an opportunity to grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient. And when you embrace this mindset, you unlock the freedom to pursue your dreams without the fear of falling, the courage to take risks, and the confidence to know that no single failure defines your worth or limits your potential. Let your mistakes be your teachers, not our judges. Let your failures be stepping stones, not stumbling blocks. Remember, every time you stumble, every time you fall, you are learning, growing, and moving closer to the person you are meant to become. Mistakes are not labels, they are lessons. And when you internalize this truth, you will no longer fear failure. You will no longer let the past hold you back. You will step forward with courage, resilience, and unwavering belief in your ability to rise, to learn, and to succeed.